they're like, they know that they're not heroes. But once they get a taste of being heroes, or as Baron Zemo put it when he was Citizen V,
Yeah.
champions of the world, they're like, we could keep doing this, right? We could just keep staying in the spotlight and keep being loved and
Right. Welcome to the Geek Branch podcast. I'm your host, Tim, and this is my co-host, Dane. I know what you're thinking. Where is everybody? Well, unfortunately, one of our co-hosts, Matt, due to a busy work schedule, he won't be able to make it for about a month. We're really going to miss him. And
the poor fool is called in peak season. There's no helping him.
I know. And then Devontae is going to be coming later today. So you'll see me and Dane during the segment we're working on now, which is the cinematic movie universe. And you'll also see Devontae with more of our videos. But we do have something to celebrate about. We went from measly 22 subscribers to 300 subscribers.
Near about, yes.
Wow.
No, I think we actually did hit 300.
We crossed it?
I think
that's
so.
Sweet. I haven't checked today.
Yes. So I know that might be a small number to many, but that is a huge step forward for us.
Oh, yeah. It's immense, man.
Yes.
It's exponential.
Yes. We've only been around, what? Barely.
2 months?
Yeah. I was going to say barely over a month. So that's huge.
Yeah. No, thank you guys for subscribing. We really appreciate you.
Yes. We're super excited. Also, a huge shout out to who I would say is our number one super fan, which is one of your good friends, Joshua Terrell Graham. Good guy. Good guy. Appreciate him.
He also is like the only person that comments, so he's the only person I get to talk to in the YouTube chat. I'm the guy who's responsible for comments and responses, and so like I only have one person that I can speak to.
There actually was one other guy that commented on there, and he said, so how do I join the nerd conference? I couldn't tell if he was joking or if he was serious. So I was nice, and I told him, you're more than welcome to contact us at the geekbranch@gmail.com. And that goes to any fan. If you have any questions or you have any fan submissions, or if you want to possibly via phone or Discord, you can always ask us on our email about the possibility of guests.
I'm thinking that, outside of just that, maybe I should go ahead and get that Discord channel up and running.
Yeah, we need to work on that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take long to set up. We just got to do some advertising for it. But hey, if people want to join the nerd conference, and I'm okay with being the nerd conference, y'all can come straight in and we can talk on Discord, because there's tons of stuff to talk about. We can't possibly fit everything into this one podcast.
No, and there's, speaking of that, there has been a lot going on with our big topics today, which a lot of it focuses on Marvel. Disney has its Disney Plus stuff coming out, and well, probably by the time you see this video, a day from now. And so a lot of that, we're hearing a lot of rumors about their movies, a lot about the Disney Plus stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about, breaking news, is that Marvel Studios is apparently working on a Thunderbolts movie, which I'm for, because I obviously who's going to be the head leader is General Ross.
Well, coincidentally, right, going from the comic book standpoint, the name Thunderbolts actually doesn't have anything to do with Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, I know it doesn't.
Right, but it'd be cool if they do bring in like Ross, the Abomination, just because it shakes up the roster. But the original roster is actually Zemo.
Yeah, Zemo.
Zemo the second, or Zemo Jr. Well, it's not actually Jr. He has a different first name than his father. Yeah. But it's Zemo and then former Masters of Evil that come together and are functionally pretending to be superheroes after the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four were killed by Onslaught. Yeah. So it's are they supervillains? Are they heroes team? And they really don't even know themselves.
Well, the ongoing rumor is that Baron Zemo will indeed be part of the team. So will General Ross, because you see people saw him on the set of Black Widow, and their thought is that they're going to recruit Black Widow's sister, who becomes Black Widow also. She's one of the other widows. They're going to recruit her as part of the Thunderbolts. So we know of 3 members that will probably be part of the Thunderbolts.
There's also a space for Hawkeye for the second iteration of the Thunderbolts, since he was a leader at one point.
That's true. And then also they're thinking about Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, since she's kind of not,
not truly villainous. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of things that we could actually pick up from the MCU and carry on over here. And if they're doing a new Thunderbolts roster with the MCU villains, then there's a lot of potential for a new storyline and a new way of playing it out. Because the characters that would have made the original Thunderbolts, like Fixer, who became Techno, Mach 1, Screaming Mimi, Atlas, none of those people have ever appeared anywhere in the MCU. So it'd be like completely strange to just jump them in.
I think what they would go for, if they were to go for any particular Thunderbolts team, I think they would do a mix of 2 different teams. The one that was led by Norman Osborn, and then the one that was led by Red Hulk. I think those are the 2 teams they would look at. So they would probably get like Bullseye and things like that.
Later iterations.
Yeah.
I wonder if we get Bullseye or Lady Bullseye. Be really interesting.
Maybe Lady Bullseye, just because of the bad taste people have in their mouth, even though it's been a long time. But with the Bullseye from Ben Affleck's Daredevil, I mean, no offense to Colin Farrell, but that was a bad movie altogether. It wasn't all on him. He fully committed to the role. I mean, he got his head shaved and they had the crazy looking tattoo thing on his head.
Bullseye from the suit.
Yeah,
actually tattooed into his head.
So he went all in,
and he had some really cool trick shot kills too.
Yeah,
including on that poor old grandma.
Yes.
So there is that, but I think maybe they're gonna do Lady Bullseye. Plus, Lady Bullseye is a really like interesting character, and normally I'm not one for like choosing any particular gender lead for a version of a hero. Like I have my preferences. Like I prefer Hawkeye to Kate Bishop Hawkeye, but
at least with her, the character
is unique and kind of outstanding, and I really like Lady Bullseye for that reason. So I would like them to pick Lady Bullseye, especially because we got Bullseye and Daredevil too.
That's true. And then also, since they're trying to expand the world for Fantastic Four and for X-Men, for the X-Men side, the perfect person to add, because he was part of Norman's team, is Sabretooth, posing as Wolverine. That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it would be actually really cool, especially if like they code name him.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not a direct drop. I would love that. It's just like, we're gonna call you Wolverine,
and he has like the yellow and brown suit that everybody always wanted Wolverine to wear. Instead, Sabretooth gets to wear it.
Yeah, and it did look cool. It also looked really dark. It's like, it's not like the what is it, X-Force or what's the X-Men?
That's X-Force when he wears the black one.
Yeah, the black and gray one.
Yeah,
it's not like that, but it's really cool. I actually really like the toned down colors of the
brown and yellow. Yeah, I love that outfit of Wolverine's and Sabretooth. Because I remember looking at the pictures for when Sabretooth was like Wolverine, when he was in the what they called the Dark Avengers or the Thunderbolts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how the heck did they make him? I mean, I know it was the artist's choice, but realistically, from previous iterations of Sabretooth, he is so much bigger than Wolverine. How did no one figure out that was not Wolverine?
He literally has like 2 feet on his brother.
Yes, he is so much bulkier than him too.
Right, especially around the shoulders and torso. He's just huge, and I'm just kind of like, guys.
Yeah, y'all don't know that's Wolverine, not Wolverine,
And he's like, there are some ones that are kind of obvious, like the chick that took Captain Marvel's place.
Mm-hmm.
Right, she's just nowhere near powerful enough.
No.
Yeah, and then Sabretooth is nowhere near big enough.
Yes.
So I'm just like, no, I'm a little bit confused here, guys. Y'all got to do better jobs. One of the cool one though is the Brazilian spider god that replaced Spider-Man, Al Aspic.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. That was cool. He just had like 6 arms though, guys. So they didn't put any effort into actually pretending at all.
Well, Peter has become a spider before, so
yeah, they're just like, oh, this is still Spider-Man.
Yeah,
says the creepy Brazilian spider god.
Well, if I was them, who I would have went with instead was Tarantula. That's one of the famous like assassin characters that's shown up in Spider-Man's comic books every once in a while. That would have been the better one to go for.
It's one of the lesser members of the animal menagerie that is Spider-Man's villainous gallery, because it's Scorpion, Rhino, Vulture.
Stan Lee was very original with the names for his villains. It's okay. It was the time and age of what he was making.
I still think it's cool.
I mean, I liked a lot of I know this is off topic, but it's just like people giving Kojima a hard time about the names in his game, Die Hard Man and stuff like that. Like, okay, but it works, okay?
Yeah, it does fit. You just gotta take it and run with it, man.
Yeah, like some of those names just are so, with Spider-Man Electro, like that's such a memorable name.
It becomes iconic.
Yeah.
Because it's unique.
Yeah. Or Green Goblin. I mean, that's such a
well, they love being alliterative back in the day. That's why you had Peter Parker, Green Goblin, it was Bruce Banner.
Yeah. But all those characters are some of the most famous characters of all time, and they have those basic literal, alliterative type of names.
Yeah.
So because a lot of these authors and artists now, they try to come up with these complicated names that no one's going to remember.
Yeah.
I do give credit to whoever came up with Kamala Khan, because that was kind of like a name that was more like the classic.
It actually is alliterative.
Yeah.
And it keeps in track with the standard hero naming scheme that has been around for like 60 years.
Yeah.
So I definitely respect that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kamala Khan could have been a really fantastic character. I just, like, the thing that has always tripped me up is that, why did she get the Miss Marvel title? That's the thing that's always got me, but I'm not going to dive into that.
Yeah.
But back to the Thunderbolts. They are one of the best teams you could ever imagine having to write a story for.
It would be one of the, it's Marvel's Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Yes and no.
Yes and no. It's not going to be like how James Gunn made Suicide. It's going to make Suicide Squad.
Yeah, right. I'm not for it being too slapstick and comedy, because it should actually be pretty dramatic, because that team is functionally confused. They know that they're not heroes, but once they get a taste of being heroes, or as Baron Zemo put it when he was Citizen V, champions of the world, they're like, we could keep doing this, right? We could just keep staying in the spotlight and keep being loved and adored, and and they get caught up in it. And so there's like three aspects to them. They're still their original villainous personalities, their love of being heroes and what it does for them, and then their innate need to turn on each other, because that team is inconsistent amongst themselves. They actually don't like each other.
No.
Yeah, because they have all the old conflicts from being in the Masters of Evil, and they're just as likely to stab each other in the back as anyone else. So there's so much drama you could write as far as their characters are concerned.
No doubt. And then, they also talked about Winter Soldier being in the group. I can see that, because he's still wanted by the government technically. So if General Ross is in charge of it, he's probably just going to say it's a government program, and then he'll recruit him and say, you have to come work for me, because
but where's that place him with
Zemo?
Yeah, Zemo.
So that would. It would be a funny relationship, because he would absolutely hate him,
and that could be one of those internal conflicts that they could really work on. Because
he framed him.
Yeah,
and then it could be one of those things to where they start working with each other, and they have one of these weird like frenemy type of relationships.
Yeah, it's really strange, because there's a really unique relationship that you could say is there between Zemo, Falcon, and Bucky, because Bucky and Zemo's dad are mortal enemies from the old days of Captain America and World War II. Right. And in fact, young Zemo chooses his hero name, Citizen V, from a World War II hero that his father killed that was friends with Captain America.
Right.
Yeah. So there's all this history from the background. And then you have their new iterations being Falcon now taking the role as Captain America.
Right.
And then Zemo still functionally being his father's successor, taking the baronship.
Yep.
So it's like there's so much conflict that could exist between those three characters that, like, perhaps what you could do is let both series run a season, right, and then have them cross over.
See, we don't know if that's going to be a movie or a Disney Plus series yet.
Yeah,
that's still up in the air. Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
that's still up in the air. But a lot of them are thinking they'll go the route of a movie, though.
I don't know. I think you'd have
it would be better to let it flesh out, to do it as a TV show.
Right, because they have a lot of character-based drama that you could pull on. It could be a character-driven story across this ensemble of cast that, trying to figure out where they fit in now in this world where they're no longer quite villains, no longer quite heroes, or just becoming something like heroes. That drama plays out better episodically, I think.
That team could easily be the way to bring the Punisher back as well, because the Punisher has been part of the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, and that's another one of those internal conflicts because he personally would just rather kill them.
Yes.
And there are times where he would literally, like, given the option, shoot his own teammates because he's the Punisher. He's hard stuck on no criminals, no villains.
Right.
Giving me the opportunity, and I'll just get rid of you. But he has been on the team.
Yeah, kind of against his will.
Right.
Yeah.
He gets put into those strange situations. Normally, it involves S.H.I.E.L.D. in some way.
Yeah. Somehow they always trick people like Punisher into joining teams that they don't want to join.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And no one's like, unfortunately, no one in the Marvel universe can be Namor.
Yes.
Namor just says no to everyone.
Yes.
It's just like anytime somebody says team up, Namor's like, no.
He teamed up with the X-Men for a while.
Well, he does it occasionally.
Because he's a mutant like them.
Right, but no. But think about the number of times where he's literally turned down team-ups, though.
Oh, yeah,
like
absolutely.
He's refused to be an Avenger. He's refused in Jonathan Hickman's X-Men run. He refused to join Krakoa. He's just like, no, y'all can keep that to yourselves. Yeah. He just.
I mean, he's like, I'm a king. I don't need y'all.
We could literally do like an hour-long compilation of just comic book pages where Namor says no. Sue Storm, who he loves dearly, came to him and asked him to team up to fight something. And he's just like,
nope.
No. He is that guy that just says no team ups.
It has nothing to do with his nation. He's not worried about it.
Right. No. So which is sometimes the way Black Panther refuses people, right?
Yeah.
But Namor is just like, I ain't doing it.
I don't care.
Like, and you.
Oh, your people are dying. Oh well, mine's not. We're okay. Right. He's not Aquaman. Like, because people like to compare him to Aquaman because they're both, the kings of Atlantis of their own,
relative universes.
Yeah. But like Aquaman's like a generally caring person that's from both the earth, like the land and sea, whereas Namor is just sea, and that's all he cares about. Like he's a little bit, more understanding for mutants, just a little bit, but still, if they get in the way of his country, they're going down.
Rex.
Yeah.
But back to the subject though, is that there are plenty of people that do join up with the Thunderbolts or teams like the Thunderbolts that don't want to be there. And that's another great internal conflict that they could play out. You know what I'm saying?
They could always have the other person I heard that they might have reappear, and it's from way back from the one of the first movies in the MCU is Justin Hammer coming back.
With Hammer Dynamics being like part of the supporting group.
Yeah.
That'd be cool because that would totally fill in like where you get the minions from because they have to have minions.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Even though they're heroes, they still want minions.
Of course, because they're not really heroes.
Right. So you're like, who's funding the minions? Because they have to have that support structure. It's got to be like Justin Hammer. I can see it, Hammer Dynamics.
Yeah, and then maybe Abomination, having Tim Roth come back as Abomination, maybe
would be cool.
It would be cool, but I don't know if they'll do that because that movie's kind of in their eyes, kind of like a stain to their name.
It's still in the discography or whatever you call it.
Oh, I know it is, but they kind of brush it off, and it's in their own way.
I mean, look, they set up some cool things in that movie, including the leader.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, we can go back and like bring that back up, even though it doesn't have anything to do with the current iteration of the Hulk. But I'm like, they also didn't do anything else with that iteration of the Hulk.
No.
Like they did a World War Hulk.
Yes.
But we got none of the World War Hulk characters.
No.
Right? There's no Scar, for instance. So I'm like, since there's
one of the most important, like, integral characters to Hulk during that time.
Right. Since there's no other Hulk, things to draw from, we might as well draw from the Norton
Scar
movie.
is his son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just for people that don't know, in the comics, he does have a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of cool because both him and Wolverine get to experience being a parent around the same time.
Yep.
So Bruce and Wolverine are both failing horribly at raising their overpowered children.
As you would expect.
Right. And then there's this great scene in the comics where they both are dragging their kids off after having a big confrontation. And they're just like, those people are crazy talking about each other as they're walking away from each other. And I'm like, you too.
I know, right? And then the other ones that they said could come back, for the team is the guy from Sonny Birch from Ant-Man and Wasp. So 2 people from the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. And then Shocker 2, because the other Shocker's
gone.
Yeah. And then Vulture.
Vulture would be sweet.
Vulture would be great.
Reprising Vulture would be nice.
I tell you which characters I could care less to have in this, who they think from the MCU. I could care less to have Sonny Birch. I could care less to have Ghost. I could care less to have Shocker. And yes, I'm a Spider-Man fan, but that version of the Shocker just
wasn't really shocking.
Yes. But the Vulture I'm down for 100%. But one Spider-Man character that I would love for them to have that I know they won't have, and he's very important to Peter, Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
But it just wouldn't make sense to have him in it.
Yeah. Not without as long as you're putting Zemo in the leadership position, you can't have Green Goblin. It's
okay for Thunderbolt for General Ross to be in it and Zemo to be in it because
one's controlling, the other one's leading.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to be the Red Hulk in this movie.
Right. No, he could still remain relatively human if that.
Yeah. I mean, they could at the end see him like experimenting on himself because he's aged. Because in the leaked set photos that people saw when he was on the Black Widow set, they saw he was an aged General Ross using a cane. So he could, like during the Thunderbolts movie or TV show, you could see him trying to figure out a way to replicate the Hulk's formula, but still keep his intelligence.
And it would make perfect sense to have that running out if Abomination is on the team, because there he has a direct gamma-based source to draw from.
They're working on the She-Hulk show. Yeah. So if he sees, hey, there's someone with Hulk's powers that has their mind intact, and Hulk has his mind intact now at this point in the world. Hulk, yeah. So he's like, maybe I can make this work for me too.
Right. Yeah. And, get back into the game because Thunderbolts were also a fighter.
Yes. He doesn't like sitting, on the sidelines.
And his old age has done nothing but limit him in that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to see his growth. Speaking of She-Hulk, they announced the writer for She-Hulk. It is actually one of the writers from Rick and Morty. She won a Golden Globe, I want to say, for the episode she did for Pickle Rick. She was the one that wrote Pickle
The Therapist.
Rick. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was actually a great episode, actually. Yeah. It was really introspective as far as like dissecting Rick's character.
Yeah, it's Jessica Gao. She's working on the writing the show right now. And then as far as Miss Marvel, I think she actually got her writer too. Let me double check. I'm trying to remember the person's name. They don't have it. No. I'm sorry. It's not Miss Marvel. It's actually Moon Knight. It's the head writer. He's one of the series developers for the Umbrella Academy.
Wow.
Yeah. So they got him for Moon Knight.
Well, first off, right, if we are comparing the quality of the two previous works,
Jeremy Slater, sorry.
Yeah, being that episode of Pickle Rick, as well as the wonderful thing that is the Umbrella Academy. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Oh, it's so great. Can't wait for season 2.
We could have good writing. Yeah. That's like the most terrifying thing about approaching like some of these topics is that you have great material to work with, right? Moon Knight's a wonderful piece to draw from as far as creating the story. We worry about the writers. These are two very good writers.
Yeah.
Just
very mature writers too. So
we could possibly get a She-Hulk that is both like comedic because there's always some part of her character that is kind of, funny. But also, dealing with all the important things that revolve around She-Hulk as a character.
Right.
Because she's no less conflicted than the Hulk. She's just far better, infinitely better adjusted than her cousin. Well, even though her cousin is now like so chill at the point that like he's no longer the Hulk as we know him.
He might revert back. You never know.
To Savage Hulk.
You never know. Because they're talking about him becoming the leader of the Avengers. Instead of Captain Marvel.
I guess. I mean,
that's the rumors that are swirling around right now. You know how that goes, though. I can't imagine him being the leader. The only reason why I would think he would be leader is because of the backlash from fans of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I mean,
so they're trying to figure out what to do next.
I guess, but if you have to pull from the roster, right? I mean,
Spider-Man can't be the choice. He's too young.
No, he's too young. No. It's like if you have to pull from the roster, it's probably should still be Hawkeye, but I don't know exactly where you're looking.
Well, Hawkeye's probably not going to be really working with the Avengers anymore.
Right. I forgot about that. Hawkeye has gone Ronin.
Yeah, before he got back with the team. But then essentially after that, he saw, spoilers if you hadn't seen the movie yet, but Black Widow dies.
Yeah.
So I don't think he really wants. The team is splintered, so they have to form a new team.
Going too.
Yeah, so they have to form a new team. So who they have to choose from is
Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Hulk.
Those are the 3 possible leaders. And with Hulk's mind fully in, Bruce Banner's mind in control.
Except Banner's never been a great leader.
No, he's too much of a pushover. He's not really leader material.
Yeah. His character flaws do not suit for leadership.
No.
Captain Marvel, yes, does have all the characteristics you would need to be a good leader, but like
you didn't see that in what we've seen in the MCU so far.
Her writing is like detrimental to her, both in the comics and in her movie.
Yeah.
So I don't think that she qualifies. I guess that does just leave Black Panther, which he's currently the leader of the Avengers in the comics at the moment.
I think he would be the most reasonable choice as leader currently.
Yeah.
You have Doctor Strange as well, but he doesn't seem too concerned about even being involved in the Avengers.
Right. No, but Strange is not a leader.
No, he's not a leader, but I'm just saying
he's way too independent.
Yeah, but he would probably be one of the core members when they do the next movie.
Sure. I mean, like, for instance, like when you look back and reference the Defenders, which him, the Hulk were on that same team.
Yeah.
Strange really wasn't leading the team. More like, I got this team together. Let's take care of these issues. But he's not a Captain America. He's not telling people what needs to happen here.
Yeah. We don't expect an inspirational message from Doctor Strange.